And I have one last question for you. What do you think makes punk rock so special? And the reason why I say this is because, you know, I was in the military, I got out, and I sort of like, all right, what can I do? You know, I wanted to be like a WWF superstar. Like, that was my thing. So
cool.
I ended up having a kid, and it was just off the table, you know. And then I was like, listen, I want to get into radio. So I start radio, and, you know, then we start the magazine. But I remember at the very beginning that we had, you know, the rock guys were dicks. The metal guys were dicks. Like, our radio station, we do it all from country to hip-hop and everything in between. Okay. But the one community that was just like, come here, and they treated us like gold. And it wasn't just me because of who I was. I've noticed over time it was just because this is who they are. The punk rock community loves, and they're not afraid to love. They're not afraid to cry. They're not afraid to hug you. They're not afraid to invite in the outcasts. And not only that, but you know, when they are inviting us in, like, you see how they treat everybody and how the community is so strong. Yet society shuns them because they're different. What do you think is the main reason why, not just in my city, but, you know, I was in South America when I was traveling in the military, and the punk rock scene out there is just as awesome. And they're like, come here, let's go eat. Like, and they just barely met me, you know, 10 minutes ago. What do you think it is? I mean, you've had, you know, going on 30 years, you know, or almost. What do you think it is?
Well, there's two things I'll say, if you don't mind. The first thing about you being in the military, it doesn't surprise me that you were in the military, especially, like, hearing how altruistic you are and with the way that you've been thinking about your life and what you want to do and how you want to help people, because I often find that, like, some of the most altruistic people that I meet, especially in the punk scene, are people who have been in the military. And you know, my aversion to the military has always been what presidents and politicians do with people like you, because you sign up because you believe in doing good, and then they take you and they use you to fight for oil. And then you come back and you're like, that was fucked. That's not what I went for. And you know, and that's my aversion to encouraging people to join the military. But I just wanted to say that because I think it's really amazing to talk to you, like, the whole time to talk to you. You're so altruistic and you're so passionate, and, like, you want to do good. And so I just, when you told me in the military, I was like, oh, that doesn't surprise me at all. You know, that makes sense. But also, you know, I think that, you know, with the punk community and the openness of it, ultimately, you know, I think that it's a result of people who felt on the outside and people who were attracted to punk rock because they were misfits in one way or another, you know, and maybe they were just misfits in the idea that they just gave a fuck about more than just themselves. And as a result of that, you know, they find a band like Minor Threat, or they find a band like Propaganda or Bad Religion or Rise Against, right? And these are bands that are talking about giving a fuck about more than yourself and actually, like, being open to other people and standing in solidarity and with people who are being persecuted, with people who don't have a voice, people who can't fight for themselves. And for me, like, that's the number one message I want people to take away from American Fall. To me, it's a record of solidarity. It's about giving a voice to people who don't have a voice, and it's about letting people who are being scapegoated and persecuted know that we're here and we're not going away. Like, we're going to fight for you to our dying breath. Like, and if you're being one of the people who's being victimized by Donald Trump, don't worry, we got your back. And I think as a result of that, there is this unwritten rule in punk rock where if you find somebody who's into punk, you realize that right away that you guys have a commonality and a certain set of morals that you both believe in. And sometimes those morals are just fuck authority, man. Like, fuck it. You know, like, for some people, that's all it is. But you still connect on that, and you still relate on that, you know? And I meet a lot of people in punk who have zero interest in the political side of anti-flag, but they love that we give the middle finger to the man, you know? And because they feel like they've been persecuted personally by the man their whole lives. Like they were in high school and they got fucking treated like shit by the teachers because the teachers didn't get them, you know? So they have this anti-authority streak. And so I just believe that in punk rock, people understand. It's like, man, you see that backpatch of, that Bad Religion backpatch on, or the Exploited, or whatever it is, and you're like, okay, like I know that this person and we've got something that matters to both of us. And for a lot of people, like, and I think that I'm one of those people, I think that punk rock really saved my life, you know, to a certain degree. So it's like, if somebody saves your life, you respect that person, right? Like, you honor that person. And so when I see somebody who is into that same thing that I'm into, they're into that thing that actually saved my life, I know I can go talk to them and there's going to be a commonality there. And so I think that punk has kind of a special a special way of bringing people together under that set of commonality that maybe certain things don't have.
In our community, the punk rock community was, you know, I'm a Ventura County community. The punk rock scene was the first one to say, hey, let's do something for Houston. They're the first ones to say, hey, let's do something for the Vegas shooting. Hey, let's do something for, you know, and you go and you look at everyone there. They look like they haven't showered for weeks, you know what I mean, at the event.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, I'm so inspired by who, you know, by them and the community and how they love people. And it's just, I mean, they have great leaders. We have great leaders here. You know, Tony Cortez from Ill Repute, big leader in our community.
Right.
And a lot of other, you know, cornerstones there. And it's just awesome. And it's just, somehow it just, you know, when we're talking, it just popped in my head, that question.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel you on that, and I think that's really cool. And I think that one of the really cool things that punk does, and it did it for us, like, it taught us to be leaders without us even knowing that that's what was happening. You know, because the whole DIY ethic and the idea that, you know, like, I heard other people say, they're like, well, hey, if we don't have it, let's just figure out how to do it, you know? And so immediately it teaches you to be I mean, it teaches you to be a problem solver, you know? And so, like, you know, and then one day you're like, you know, something happens and you look up and everybody's looking at you like, all right, what are we going to do? You know, and you're like, holy shit, I guess I'm the one that figures out what we're going to do, you know? And, and that's really cool because you know, there's a teaching process and with punk that people don't even realize. That's why I think you see, like, so many punk started businesses, you know, like, because it's a cool thing where there's never like I can't do it. There's always like, all right, let's figure out how we do it. And so there's always, like, you know, in every city you go to, there's like some cool punk run thing, whether it's a restaurant, a bakery, a vegan restaurant, a record store, you know, whatever things, you know, whatever passion somebody has in that lifestyle. And that's always, like, something that is really exciting. And again, you know, it's like what you're saying, it's just like, I know when I go to that fucking punk record store, I'm going to be stoked because like whoever's running it is going to be awesome, you know. So that's a really cool thing about punk, and that's for sure what attracted me to punk in so many ways.
Well, Justin, man, it's been an awesome conversation, and
yeah.
And I wish you nothing but success in this new album. I can tell you're really stoked about it. I can see the light in your heart, just shining, and I wish
awesome.
I wish you everything that your heart desires, my man.
Well, right there with you, man, and I love your spirit and your energy, and I love what you're doing, and I think you're on the right path, and I love that kind of, like I said, I love how you're thinking about other people. It's really, really inspiring, and this is, I guess this kind of comes back to like, you asking earlier about like, how do you have any hope, and I'm like, fuck, yeah, see, I just had this conversation with you, and now I'm like, yeah, I have so much hope, and that's what happens, and we're in such a unique and lucky position in the band because I get to talk to people like you all the time, and it's like, that's why I stay optimistic and don't give up, and I realize like we're in like really unique and special, like we're lucky, we're like in this really fortunate position, but yeah, it's wonderful to talk to you. I really appreciate it.
I thank you. Well, be careful. And are you guys going on tour?
Yeah, we're going out in January. Actually, aren't you out of San Diego?
I'm in Ventura, California.
Okay.
So it's about.
Right. Okay. Cause,
aren't you? You're there like the 27th or something, right?
Right, because I know we're in San Diego on the 30th.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and then I'm not sure. So which means we're going to be in California around that time. So January. But yeah, we're on tour in January and February. And so, yeah, man, I mean, if you're out, please come say hi. That would be amazing.
Dude, for sure. I definitely will. Because anytime we do an interview, I always try to, like, are they nearby so we can give them a copy of the magazine? You know what I mean?
Right.
And,
well, you have my number, so just shoot me a text a couple days ahead. That would be great.
All right, for sure, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. That would be totally sick.
All right, man. Well, enjoy your holidays.
I'll let you go. Yeah, you too. You too. Take good care and be well.
All right, man. You too.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Damn.